Hey, what's going on, guys? Trey back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be talking about The Walking Dead Season 3 versus The Walking Dead Season 2. And whether or not I think Season 3 will be better than Season 2. So Robert Kirkman, the writer of the comic book as well as the writer for the television show, since he's been working on kind of both full-time, or more than full-time probably too much, has pretty much come out and said that Season 3 is going to destroy Season 2. Pretty much. He's been saying for a while in interviews and stuff like that that when people were talking to him about the end of Season 2, we're talking about how exciting it was and how great it was, he was basically saying that Season 3 is going to just annihilate it in terms of how good it is, and just how exciting and fun it is because the story is better. And I think that in a lot of ways I have to agree. When I look at the Walking Dead comic book and I look at the parts near the beginning that were included with Shane, where you have, like just for the two first settings, you have the camp and then you have the Herschel's farm. When I compare those to what we get to see at the prison, I think it's pretty clear right off the bat that the events that happen at the prison and that are going to happen in The Walking Dead Season 3 are so much more exciting than the ones that happen in, the earlier. Like, the initial camp is pretty fun. There's some exciting parts we get to see with the camp getting attacked, Amy, which is Andrea's little sister, getting killed, Jim getting killed, who was the mechanic who got bitten on his side of his abdomen. And some of the other things. And then, of course, the television show expanded on that in Season 1 with the CDC and, all the other stuff that they added in there with the Vatos in the city and everything like that. So I think right off the bat when it comes to Season 1, I can rule that out right away. I've done a video talking about Season 2 versus Season 1 as being the better season. And Season 2, in my opinion, is the better season of Walking Dead TV show. Likewise, with the comic book, I think it gets more interesting after they leave the initial camp. Even though seeing Shane get shot and killed by Carl in the comic book, as well as on the TV show, was absolutely amazing, I'd have to say, from what I've seen from the comic book, once they get to the prison and the events that happen at the prison between Rick's group and the governor's group is probably the highlight of the entire Walking Dead series, comic book series, so to speak, because we've had almost 100 issues so far. For those of you who haven't read the comic book, what we've been through on the television show is the equivalent of about maybe 12 or 13 issues of the comic book. So we're only 1/10 of the way through the comic book in terms of the television show and how far it's gone through the story. And even though the television show expanded upon the elements that of Shane being around, Shane's death, everything that happens with that, the stuff that happens between the governor's group and Rick's group in the comic book, it's just so much more interesting and exciting than the events that happen with Shane. And it's not because any knocks against Shane's character, but he's only one character. The whole idea of bringing in an entire group of characters and the leader of them, wanting to kill you, and then having this war between, Rick's group and the governor's group, and having the prison as sort of like their safe haven, I think is just amazing. It's brilliant stuff. It really is brilliant stuff. And like I said, in terms of the first 100 issues of the comic book, I think it's the best by far. Now, will they include all the events of the prison in Season 3? No, I don't think so. 16 episodes is not enough to cram in all of the elements of the of what happens in the prison and the comic books. I think what we're going to see is, I'm going to guess, 2 seasons. We will see the characters living in the prison. At least I'm going to assume Season 3 and Season 4. They're going to stay at the prison. And they may expand that even further because the television show has been, making things sort of like even longer than they were in the comic book and adding to them. So we could even potentially see them stay at the prison and live there for Season 5, maybe, if they do that. Maybe Season 6. I mean, who knows what will happen. But I'll be very excited to see, because when Robert Kirkman says something like that Season 3 is going to, pretty much be that much better and that much more exciting than Season 2, I believe him. I do. I believe him because after, reading the story and getting to see the television show and what they've been able to accomplish so far with both the comic book and the TV series, you know, he doesn't really seem to be the kind of guy that just says stuff like that to hype up the show. It really seems like to me season 3 is going to be even better than season 2, and will probably be the most exciting season, and maybe season 4 will top that, and season 5, and then season 6 or 7. You know, they'll still be great, but they might not be as good as like the height of seasons 4 and 5. It depends when they play out certain elements of the comic book. For those of you who have read it, you know what I'm talking about. When Rick is forced to leave, with his group is forced to leave the prison in the comic book. So, you know, when that plays out, I think that will pretty much be the best there is. That being said, though, season 2 is really, really good. I mean, they improved on the story in the comic book a lot, in my opinion. Adding in Dave and Tony, you know, the guys who walked into the bar when Rick was there with Herschel and Glenn, did so many great things for the story that we just didn't get to see in the comic book. It's so exciting. And also, I think what's interesting, too, is that those characters, they said, Randall said that they were moving around a lot, that they had been moving around. And the governor's group is pretty stationary at Woodbury, which is a town that they're at. They're pretty stationary. Like, it seems like the governor's group is pretty much always there. You know, so there's a possibility that Dave and Tony's group is a different group than the governor's group. I mean, we all kind of assumed that they would be the same group, but they might not be. They could be a different group. So then we could have two groups out there, the governor's group and, you know, Randall's group. Now, that's just all circumstantial because we don't know. Most people assume that Randall and Dave and Tony were part of the governor's group. But that might not necessarily be the case because, like I said, from the comic book series, it didn't seem to me like the governor's group had been moving around a lot. They built this stronghold, so I assume they were there for a while. That being said, though, Season 2, I mean, there's so many great things about Season 2. So exciting. There were a couple slow episodes, but overall, you know, in terms of a season, it's my favorite season of any TV show ever. Bar none. Bar none. There's nothing else I can even compare to it. But I think Season 3, if they do it right and they follow Kirkman's writing, because it sounds like from his perspective, the writing for the next season, because the writing is already done pretty much for Season 3, and they're going to go into filming probably in a couple weeks. If they haven't started already, a week or two, they're going to start filming Season 3 of The Walking Dead. The fact that he's excited makes me even more excited because, you know, it kind of tells me that the writing is probably turned out even better than he thought it would because just like Season 2, with a lot of things they added in, it made the story even better. So I assume that probably this will be even better. Because, I mean, we have other things in here now. We have Michonne, who's arrived, who's an awesome character to watch. I mean, just watching her kill zombies is so much fun. We could do that all day. I just can't wait until, like, Season 5 and 6 when guys have music videos on YouTube of Michonne just hacking away zombies. I know it's going to happen for sure. You know, and then adding in this whole other group. And we may actually even get to see some things from the governor's perspective. So, you know, kind of to follow him instead of always following Rick, getting to see what his life is like and him as a character. I think that'll be cool too. So I think it all comes down to, will it be better or not? Season 2 versus Season 3. Obviously, this falls under predictions because it hasn't even started filming yet. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. Writing-wise, I think it's probably going to be better. There's going to be 16 episodes. 16 is better than 13. It's a higher number. The more, the better. But the problem I see with it all is the possibility of a low budget. That's the thing. Now, I have not heard any news about the budget for Season 3 yet, which is good because no news is good news most of the time. So I assume probably if everything goes through okay with the filming and the shooting, if none of the actors have panic attacks and decide they can't take zombies anymore and they want to quit, and if the show gets proper budgeting, I think that that the crew will put together an amazing Season 3, and I think it will be even better than Season 2 or Season 1 of The Walking Dead. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Will Season 3 be better than Season 2? I believe, yes, it will be. Let me know what you guys think about it, and I'll see you for the next one. Later, guys. Peace.